I want to show you the numbers that I have been hiding from you. $3,979.43. That is what I owe on one credit card. The interest rate on that card, 27.49%. $11,760.86 on a second card at 25.74%. And a small business loan at 3.75% that quietly charges me $4.70 in interest every single day. Altogether, that is, by my standard, too much debt. But those are my real numbers, though. Now, I make videos about money, and I rebooted my whole life at 50 years old. I filed every back tax return from 2020 through 2025 in 7 months. I built an emergency fund on an income that I created from nothing. And every month I have been sitting here paying interest rate that would make a loan shark blush and saying nothing to you about it because I was embarrassed. But here's what I finally understood, and it is the reason I am telling you today. I did not get into this debt being reckless. I got into this debt being hopeful. And nobody warns you that hope has an interest rate. If we have not met, I'm Webley. I talk about money and starting over at 50 years old, backstory included. And today is the first episode of a series that I honestly did not want to make. I am paying off every dollar of this consumer debt out loud in front of you starting tonight. Every payment, every setback, every balance update, you are going to watch these numbers die in real time. One housekeeping line before we start. This series is consumer debt only. The cards and this business loan and private family pieces, it stays private. Now, before I show you the plan, I owe you the answer to the question that I would be asking myself. How does a woman who makes budget videos end up with over $14,000 in debt? The answer is not shopping, because I almost wish that it was shopping. At least I would have a handbag, something, that is hanging in my closet where I can see it. The answer is that I bought promises. In the next few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly which promises, what they cost me, and the 3 lessons that took me years and thousands of dollars to learn. You are getting them today for free. And if you are starting over with your money at 50 years old like I am, this series is your permission slip. So subscribe so you are here when the first balance hits 0. And listen, if you're watching this in the same room as a statement that you have not opened, this part is for you too. All right, in November at 50 years old, I made a decision that shame was no longer allowed to run my finances. Because before that decision, I refused to look at any of my numbers, any of them. And I had not filed my taxes since 2020, y'all. Not because I could not do it, but because looking, it felt like standing in front of a mirror that only showed my mistakes. It took me 7 months to catch all the way up. I filed every return, 2025 going through 2020. And here's a lesson that cost me real money. I got refund from every single year except 2020 and 2021. Because if you wait too long to file, you forfeit your refund. So the government keeps your money for not filing on time. Yes, that is a real rule. And what a pile of nonsense, if you ask me. But lesson learned. I am completely caught up now, and part of those refunds went into a sinking fund, so emergencies never land on a credit card again, and part of it is going straight at this debt. So if you are hiding your own numbers right now, hear me. There is nothing wrong with you. You are not bad with money. You are running from money though. And those are 2 different problems. And the second one gets fixed the moment that you stop running. I know, because 2 years ago, I could not open an envelope. And today I am showing you everything. So where did the debt actually come from? Let me give you the honest inventory. Because there's a part that stings. I had paid these cards off before, completely 0 balance. I know exactly what that feels like. Then COVID hit. I was not working and the cards became the grocery budget. And I want to be clear, that part, I do not regret it. Because you feed your family with the tool that you have. But groceries are not where most of this debt came from. Most of it came from chasing promises. I bought courses, and by the time I got to those courses, the person had closed their business or they pivoted to something completely different. So I am sitting there holding something with 0% support. Zero. Figuring out alone how to implement it in my business, which is the exact thing that I paid them to help me do. And I also hired coaches. And here's the uncomfortable truth about that world. It is very hard for some people to admit that knowing how to make money yourself does not mean that you can coach somebody else into the same result. A lot of these coaches, they lead with income claims. They had a $50,000 week, and they make you believe that it is duplicatable. They market it like a business in a box. And there is no such thing as a business in a box. A box is a sewing pattern. You buy the pattern, they give you the pieces, you cut the fabric, they tell you where to sew, and you end up with a skirt. Business is not a pattern. When somebody makes $50,000 in a week, that number is an accumulation of every trial and error that they survived before you ever met them. Years of it. Years in the valley of despair, buying bad courses and bad coaching exactly like you. But when they sell you their method, they sell you the skirt and they skip the years. And then there is the medical debt. That part nobody plans for. I have private insurance that I pay for every single month. And over the past 2 years, medications that used to cost me $10 copay, they simply decided to stop covering overnight. So this is a country where you can go from zero debt to debt overnight, and it will not be because you went shopping. Now, let me hand you the 3 lessons that I paid full price for so you never have to. And I want to name what these 3 lessons actually are because this matters. This is financial literacy. Nobody sat us down and taught us this. And the people selling to us online, they know that. A lot of what happens in that world is counting on your lack of financial literacy. So we are closing that gap today, right now, for free. All right. Lesson number 1, revenue is not profit. When somebody online tells you I made $1 million with my course, that $1 million is revenue. It is the number before they paid the team that helped them launch, before the platform fees, before the ads, before taxes. So the profit is what is left after all of that. And I have seen $1 million revenue turn into $40,000 of profit, which means that person spent $960,000 to keep $40,000. Meanwhile, somebody else spent almost nothing and kept the same $40,000. There is more than one road to Rome. It depends which number you're actually aiming for. So now, when somebody leads with a big number, I ask one question: what was your net profit? The transparent people, they will tell you. The other ones, they will change the subjects. So both answers tell you everything. And to be fair, sometimes the answer is beautiful. Somebody says, I made $50,000 and my net profit was $30,000. That is real business. Or I spent $10,000 and I made $25,000. Wonderful. The point is not that everybody is lying. The point is that you learn to ask. And once you ask, the numbers have to make sense in the light. Okay? Lesson number 2, become a logical buyer. I learned this term from my mentor. There are impulse buyers and then there are logical buyers. And believe it or not, they have a name for people like me now because I stopped being the first one and became the second one. You want to be a logical buyer, and the only way to become a logical buyer is to educate yourself. Because here's what happens when you do not know the terms. They throw words at you: revenue, scaling, 6 figures, high ticket. And instead of asking what those words mean, we nod. Because nobody wants to feel like the one person in the room who does not know. That nod is expensive, sis. I know exactly what that nod costs because I paid it. But here's the beauty of right now. You have no excuse, and neither do I. You have AI in your pocket. When somebody throws big terms at you, you can literally ask AI to explain it like you are in 6th grade, and it will break it down for you. You can even take what they are saying in their pitch and have AI put the whole thing in plain language. The information is there. It has never been easier to reach, which means the only thing standing between you and the right question is the habit of asking them. And I can tell you the exact moment things changed for me. It was the year that I started asking the right questions. That is when I stopped buying in those things. The questions were free. Not asking them cost me thousands. And in this online world, financial literacy is not extra credit. It is the thing that keeps you from making the mistakes that I made. Lesson number 3, and this one is the trap that almost everyone falls into, including me. It is called survivorship bias. That's a fancy name, but it's a simple trick. Let me walk you through it slowly, because once you see this, you cannot unsee it. Say somebody sells a $300 program and they tell you they made millions with it. So do the math with me. At $300 each, that means thousands of people bought it. Say 10,000 people. Now go scroll their testimonial sections on their website and count the success stories. 5, maybe 7 on a good page. So here is my question, and I want it to become your questions. Where are the other 9,995 people? You will never hear about them. And to be fair, they did not all fail. Some did not finish, some had life happen, some bought it and never opened it. And if you have ever done that, no judgment, so have I. But whatever the reason, they did not get the result. And the entire marketing machine is built around the 5 who did, and total silence around everyone who did not. That is survivorship bias. You are only ever shown the survivors. The focus of the whole campaign is the 5. And the 9,995, they are invisible. And here's the part that gets us. Even if they told you the real odds straight to your face, even if they say it out loud, 9,995 people did not make it. You know what your brain would say? I'm not going to make their mistakes. I'm going to be the one, because we are human and we are competitive and we all put ourselves in what I call the exception line. They are counting on you standing in that line, because the marketing is not feeding you information. It is feeding your dream. It is feeding your aspiration. And your dream will swipe the card when your logic would not. The exception line shows up in the success stories too. Somebody tells you, I put $15,000 on my credit card to launch my business and I made $2 million. I'm not saying it did not happen. I'm asking a different question. Is that the norm? Or is that the exception? Because you can go do the exact same thing and succeed, and you can go do the exact same thing and lose the $15,000. You cannot build a plan on an exception. So remember this, and it will save you thousands of dollars. Marketing is marketing. Every time a person shows up online, they are selling you something, and it is not free. And please, whatever you do, do not go into debt to try to make money online. That is a race to the bottom. I ran that race. I am still paying the entry fee. It is 27.49%. So here's my decision. And here is exactly what you are going to watch me do. It is called the debt avalanche. You line up your debts by interest rate. You pay minimums on everything and you attack the highest rate first, not the smallest balance, the most expensive money. And my lineup first target the card that is at 27.49%. It started at $5,250 and it is now at $3,979.53. That one is the monkey on my back and it dies first. Second, I'm going to attack the 25.74% one that is at $11,760.86. And last, it's going to be the business loan that is at 3.75%. And even that one, the cheap one, it cost me $4.70 every day for money that I already spent. Once you know your debt has a daily price tag, you never look at it the same way again. The fuel for this plan, though, is that part of my tax refunds, it goes straight at the first balance. So the sinking fund stays in place, so life stops lending on a plastic card. And even if I have to pick up something extra on the side to make this faster, and you will see that here too. And here's the appointment. The first public balance update, it lands in 7 days right here. Same numbers, same camera. I expect you to check my math. Because I did the other math, the minimum payment math, the version where I stay comfortable and pay these off slowly. And every time I look at a statement and see what I paid in interest that month, I feel the same thing. I am robbing my future by allowing this madness to continue. So the madness starts tonight. Let me give you the whole episodes in 5 lines. Number one, I have over $14,000 in consumer debt, and you now know every number, every rate, and every balance. Number two, it came from COVID, grocery shopping, and I bought promises and some of it medical bills, not from shopping. Number three, the 3 lessons: revenue is not profit, become a logical buyer, and watch out for the exception line. It's the survivorship bias story, right? Number four, the method is the debt avalanche that I'm going to use, and I'm attacking the highest interest first. And that one is at 27%. That card dies first. Number five, I'm going to give you the first balance update in 7 days right here. At the beginning, I told you that hope has an interest rate. And here's the rest of that sentence. Hope is not the problem. Hope is why I rebooted my life at 50 years old. Hope filed 6 years of taxes. Hope is why you are still building at an age when they told us we were supposed to be done. The problem was borrowing against hope without asking questions. I was brilliant at starting over, and I was terrible at asking what the starting over was costing me. These numbers, they lived in the dark for 2 years, y'all. 2 whole years. And numbers grow in the dark. So tonight we turn the lights on. Turning the lights on is part of a second birth too. Not just the pretty chapters. And we are leaving the lights on until every one of these balances reads 0. All right. Now I want you to tell me in the comments, minimum payment, snowball, or avalanche, which one are you on right now? And there's no shame in any answer, because mine was, I didn't look at any of the above for 2 years. And subscribe so you are here for the first balance update in 7 days, and I will see you then.